So it's been about 6 weeks since you all went home, back to your lives from the ISS, and Shiva and I collapsed in a heap and took about a week to recover. And I thought I'd make this little video because there are a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you about. The first one is, now that you are back into your lives, don't forget about us. You know, if you're a Facebooker, then do stay in touch through the Facebook page and make sure you join the International Science School Facebook page as well. But even if you're not a Facebooker, we want to stay in touch with you, right? And as you go off to, back to your lives and off to university or around the world traveling, or you go and get a job or something like that, people tend to change email addresses and phone numbers and home addresses pretty regularly. And it's really easy to lose touch with you. So we want to make sure that you have every opportunity to stay in touch with us, to tell us what's going on, and so that we can share with you things like, when the application's open for the Starfy applications, or when the next ISS is coming up, or when there's an event like that. So stay in touch with us, make sure that we've got all of your details, make sure that we know how to contact you, make sure we know where you are, okay? I'm actually talking to you today from the University of York over in the UK, where I'm doing a sabbatical for the rest of the year. I've just discovered that not only is this campus very pretty, it's got lakes and trees and ducks and swans and everything, it's also got blackberries. Look, blackberries for lunch. Yum. Only problem with blackberries is they get caught in your teeth. Anyway, the second thing I wanted to talk to you about is Harry. It was pretty weird, and it was obviously a bit of a shock when Harry Messel passed away right in the middle of the ISS program. Although, I got to say, he was the kind of guy who really enjoyed making big, loud statements, and so it's kind of fitting in a way that if he was going to die, he would do it in a way to have the greatest impact. Anyway, Harry always used to like to come along to the ISS, partly to see what was going on and make sure that we were all doing it properly, but also because he wanted to talk to you guys, because he always had a few messages that he wanted to pass along. And one of them was, he always wanted to remind you of why you were there, to get you to think about why you'd been chosen. You guys are all really talented people. You're all academically doing really, really well. That's why you came to the ISS. And Harry always liked to remind you that there's a responsibility that comes with that. Right? I don't want to put more pressure on you in any way, shape or form. You're all doing plenty of that yourselves. But Harry always wanted to remind you that with those talents comes the responsibility to figure out what you want to do with them. And whatever that is, whether it's physics or science or engineering or law or medicine or garbage collecting or rowing around the world, really doesn't matter. Just go and figure it out and do it to the very best of your ability. That's what Harry would want you to do. And that's what we want you to do as well. Another thing that Harry would often emphasize when he came along to the ISS was the concept of giving back, right? The International Science School is a really expensive business, yeah? Takes us something like $500,000 every time we run the program. Now that money has been raised over many, many years. Every time we do it, we have a whole bunch of really generous donors and sponsors, people who give anything from hundreds to hundreds of thousands of dollars to help us run that program. But it's not just about the money, it's also the time and the energy and the effort that goes in from all the lecturers and the people who run the activities, the volunteer staff, the YSA, everyone involved puts in a huge amount of effort. And so we just want you to have a little bit of a think about, given that you're the latest people who have benefited from this amazing program, I want you to have a bit of a think about, down the track, how you might give something back. You've received something of great value. How can you give back? Now, I'm not just talking about money here. Right? There are lots of ways that people can give back. At this ISS alone, remember you got those notebooks, the ISS notebooks, and those were generously donated by one of our ISS students from 2013 who said, I want to give something back, and I want to give something which is meaningful, something which they can actually hold in their hand and take away with them. And so those notebooks were Max's way of giving back to the ISS. At this science school, we also had a couple of lectures given by Stuart Prescott, who was an ISS alumnus from 1995. His way of giving back was to contact us and say, I really want to be involved. It was such a special program. Can I come and help out? What can I do? You know, I'm an academic chemist. Can I give some lectures? Can I take you out to ANSTO where I do some work? And that was amazing. So there's lots of different ways that you can give back to the program. Now, of course, Harry would hit me over the head with a brick if he thought I wasn't emphasizing the need for the financial side of things. So look, I know that none of you at the moment are particularly flush, I'm guessing. You're all high school students or about to go off to university. You're going to be strapped for cash. You're going to be paying fees. So we're not expecting you to all pull out the checkbooks right now. But down the track, when you've made it, yeah? When you win your Nobel Prize or when you make your first billion from that smartphone app, remember us, yeah? Remember the International Science School. Put your hands in those pockets and dig deep, as Harry used to say. So that's it really, that's all I wanted to talk to you about. If some of you can get along to the Harry Messel Memorial, that'd be fantastic. And for the rest of you, any news, any events, any updates that you got, let us know back at ISS Central Command. We really look forward to hearing from as many of you as possible as time goes on. We can't wait to see what happens next.